It's the world's first time machine video on YouTube by Ronald Mallet. That's the title of the video. Channel is AB Best Documentary. So that's the title of this. The world's first time machine. It's a theory and an experiment by Ronald L. Mallet. Now, I have my own theory, and this is what I'm gonna talk about now. This is my own theory on Ronald Mallet, and I have a message for him. I would like to talk to him, email him back and forth, and see what he thinks about my theory. I guess I might as well just say it to the world, but I mean, I know it might not be true. They say that light can't go faster than itself, like a laser with data. A laser, instead of just in a CD drive for a computer, the laser with data would be shooting off a moving space shuttle or spacecraft, and at a very end, the spacecraft would be going maybe not half the speed of light, but something like very fast, like in 1/8 or 1/16 or probably 1/32 of the speed of light, which is still very fast, like tens of thousands of miles per hour. At least 10,000 miles per hour bare minimum, and I would say in order to probably have enough of an effect, if it really is true that if some object or light wave, sound wave, radio wave, etc. goes faster than the speed of light, then it goes back in time. If something goes faster than the speed of light, it goes back in time. Nobody's proven that if it's true, but if it really is, based upon that theory, mine is to shoot data off of a moving object. Now, obviously, according to Ronald Mallet, hundreds of experiments, he says in that video, have been done by numerous different scientists. And he says always it's been proven that light can't move faster than itself. Well, how are you going to tell that, first of all? Because it's going back in time. The moment that it goes anything faster than itself, the theory is that it goes back in time. So are you testing for that? Is any scientist testing for that? I haven't seen any articles on that. As far as I know, all of them never say or even suggest that they are trying to do that. And they're probably missing that point. But even if that's true and you can't do it that way, how about radio waves? How about sound waves? How about other kinds of light or extremely close to the speed of light kind of things like radio waves, I would imagine, is the speed of light. That they go the speed of light or almost the speed of light. And that a space shuttle traveling at 17,000 miles per hour or some spacecraft at a little faster than that could shoot a radio wave off of data, and then the receiver, wherever that is, it could be on Earth, it could be out in outer space somewhere on the moon or space station, it could be the ISS. Great place to be a receiver, no atmospheric interference, like clouds are getting in the way. Clouds could be getting in the way, maybe if it's someplace on Earth, but if it's to the International Space Station, and that data goes straight to the ISS, the International Space Station, from a spacecraft going at about, let's say, 10 to 20,000 miles per hour, shooting that data while it's traveling, it's sending that data to the space station that already exists. And they have to put something or a dish or something to be a receiver for that data, the radio wave data, sound wave data. Probably not a sound wave because they say that stuff doesn't travel very fast. Because the speed of light and the speed of sound are obviously much different. But when it comes to radio waves, I've never heard that that's any different than the speed of light. So I'm thinking there's other things maybe that are certain wave-like kind of like light waves, but it's not light. And then, at least according to math, based upon Albert Einstein and his stinking theories, that I don't believe everything can be true, because some things are only based upon math, and watch it come true. Something's got to be wrong if it wasn't already proven wrong from Albert Einstein. I'm pretty sure that he didn't get everything right. And that some of these things, if not a lot of his ideas, were just mere theory based upon math. The math is right, but maybe it really just still can't be done, even if the math can show it can be done. Anyways, so that's my theory, is to shoot data off of a moving object to get that data, and then you think, oh, it can't go back in time to change stuff. Well, you don't need to if you can send the right data to the right people at the right time. That can change anything. And when it comes to time travel, the future, the past, the whole deal, there's two things that are the focus of it: is human relations and knowledge. Because playing the Back to the Future, the game, and I can look back after I beat the game, and I can think to myself, that's all it really was about. It was totally centered around human relations. Who was the bully? Who was falling in love with who? Or who liked who? Who wanted to marry who? Who really did marry who? Why did it all fall apart? If certain people met at a certain time before a certain other relationship, could things have been better? Why did people settle for less? Maybe it was more convenient. Well, I'm hearing stuff like that as I get older, that people don't marry the person that they're in love with, and because it's more convenient, and that they're just a little attracted, just slightly attracted to this other partner, or whatever sex they are, the opposite sex, and then I don't know about gayness, and not getting into that, but just the opposite sex, normal, traditional kind of marriage. And one partner or another looks and says about how, they think to themselves, okay, I'm going to settle for less because it's convenient, and I can have a marriage earlier, and I can have somebody loving me for longer in life. It's something that I just would rather have no relationship. So far, I haven't had a relationship because I'm honest with myself. I know who I love and who I like and who I would divorce. You kind of just get a bad feeling when a woman tells me that's in her 50s. Recently, a few weeks or a couple months ago, she told me, I won't say her name, but just that she said something about, oh, you can be picky on online dating. Well, that means that's what the women want. That means that's why there's so many divorces, because they didn't want the relationship in the first place, or they did, but the man didn't keep his money. He lost his job or whatever. And then, well, you know what? That's what the women want, and they're honest with themselves from the beginning. Maybe they ought to look for a man that has millions of dollars and is living off of interest. And as sure as the sun will rise, almost, as sure as the banks exist anyways. And all they have to do is go to the bank to get their damn money, and then that's it, They've got their money, or with this online banking, as long as the internet's still working or whatever, and maybe they can get their money another way. But there's new technologies I don't keep up on with banks, but I hear rumors about how you might be able to withdraw online, and some ways like that. I don't know, But I only know the traditional going to the bank. But anyways, I'm just saying about how, you know, I'd like to talk to you, Ronald Mallet, if you're seeing this video, and about time travel and time travel to the past is the main focus, and shooting data off of a moving object. I want to know what you think about that. Whether or not it's with a laser that has data in it, like ones and zeros or whatever, like that, or it's a radio wave, or some other kind of radio wave, or Wi-Fi signal, Bluetooth signals, stuff that's electrical signals, like a radio wave, a cell phone signal, stuff like that. Whatever it is, I mean, I guess cell phone signals are the equivalent and pretty much the same exact thing as radio waves. But anyways, maybe it's slightly different. Maybe there's different speeds. Ultra high frequency radio waves, I believe, have different frequency wavelengths and speeds compared to some other radio waves. There's got to be something close to or at the speed of light. From what I understand, there is the radio waves, some type of radio waves, anyways. And so it can go faster than itself, like a missile shooting off of a moving fighter jet compared to a missile shooting off of a fighter jet on the ground, if it can do that, or a missile shooting off of a silo on some kind of a non-moving object, building or a vehicle that's not moving on the ground or something like that. I mean, I know from these flight simulators that it shoots the missile off faster, even though the missile has its own speed. By the time that it's going and it's shooting off the object, whatever it is, if it's moving compared to not moving, I mean, you're talking about it already having speed. So, I mean, I seen that video, this spinning thing, and then that's an idea of something already having speed. So that's actually basically my idea. I mean, that's already out there in the world. But my idea is to get a spacecraft to be that spinning moving object, and then to shoot data off of it. That would go to the past. There would be a way to test whether or not it's working, and it occurred before, and you get them the data before you're even sending it off, or something like that. Anyways, so that's my time travel theory, and that's my question to Ronald Mallet, and whether or not he thinks that'll work or not. Besides, I'd still like to have conversations with him via email. My email, I might as well give it right here, right now. It's Mercury1978Kevin at yahoo.com. It's MERCURY 1978 Kevin, KEVIN at yahoo.com. Now, there's no spaces between the 1978 and the Mercury before it and the Kevin after it. And there's no dashes between it, there's, no underlines anywhere in it. And there's no capital, and the M in Mercury is not capitalized, and the K in Kevin's not capitalized. There's no capital letters in the whole thing. It's just all lowercase, no spaces between. Mercury 1978 Kevin at yahoo.com. So Yahoo's email provider. So just rewind this video to replay it and get my email that way. But I get a lot of spam, and I don't know if I'll honestly get it. But Yahoo tends to be, I mean, just don't put any links in the first email, and I should get it then. And then, and I sometimes accidentally overlook emails, so just send an email a couple different times, a couple different days, over a couple different days, and I'll get it then. And because every day I get easily 20 to 50 emails. I don't know about 50. I think I unsubscribed from some people. Like The Truth About Cancer was giving me too many emails, a little too many, not way too many. But along with all the other emails, I mean, I think I was getting too many like 50 emails a day instead of 40 or whatever. It's just starting to be too many. Crazy. And CNET, I subscribe to them. They don't give me too many emails, but sometimes some days are worse than others. Anyways, 15 minutes. I mean, I gotta end this, but basically that's all I have to say about my time travel theory. And I know it's a theory, I haven't proven it, but it makes sense, and it's just the same basic logic as that spinning black hole idea, where the that idea is not sending data to the past. That idea is like a space shuttle or spacecraft entering the edge, not the black hole, but almost entering the black hole, going on the orbit, rotational orbit around the black hole, and then that has some kind of gravity effect that's basically pushing the spaceship like a sea current has. It pushes a boat. Well, that's like pushing it, and there's speed already, even when the rockets aren't going off or whatever the propulsion method is. And then it moves, and then it'll move even faster when the rocket takes off or when the shuttle takes off and goes. And the idea is that it can possibly go faster than the speed of light that way because it has something that helps it go fast, basically. But that's a different idea. My ideas are just about any kind of moving object, whether or not it's rotating around a black hole or it's just a craft in the atmosphere or in outer space, whatever, that it's moving, it's shooting data off of it, it's sending data, and there's a receiver. There's going to be a receiver and a way to test it to see whether or not you're getting the data before you're sending it out. And if you are, even a split second, then you know it's going back in time. It's working. So that's an idea. And I was thinking maybe I shouldn't put this video out. There's got to be security measures. And and I wanted to say to the world about my theory about the grandfather paradox solved. And but yeah, about the security measures, the U.S. government maybe not, but maybe a world government, maybe some other nation's government, maybe just a group of people that are scientists and then not attached to a government, whatever. But a group of people with some kind of security, basically to say has to have this time travel and keep everything hush hush. So maybe this video will be deleted off of YouTube. Or something crazy like that will happen, unexpected to me in the world, and because maybe I'm right and they don't want that data out there. But that's going to be proof to me, at least, that it's all true. So I kind of halfway believe it. I'm about 50% sure that this is, which is pretty sure compared to most people aren't, but 10% sure, I'd say, on their time travel theories. I'm 50% sure. So, anyways, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, we really don't know. And it's based upon a theory that if something goes faster than the speed of light, it goes back in time, which might not be right at all, anyways. And so, what I'm thinking is, okay, about the grandfather paradox. This is my idea, and this is what logically makes sense to me. There's no such thing as a grandfather paradox. In my mind, because if somebody goes back in time and they accidentally, because you wouldn't want to think that they did it on purpose, that they accidentally kill their grandfather, then what would happen is they would still exist, but their future self wouldn't be born. And that timeline, I guess you could call it, which they're in, but yeah, that they changed the past and they're no longer born. Now, why are they still there? Is because they were reborn automatically, even before they killed their grandfather accidentally. They were reborn, into the past, the very moment that they go back in the past, they were reborn. And every time, like, you go back in time, or data goes back in time, even the data is reborn. But if a person goes back in time, that ever happens, which is much more unlikely than data going back in time. But if a person goes back in time, then they're reborn. So they could even destroy themselves directly or indirectly, even on accident, and that wouldn't affect them. But with that said, now, if they go back in time, let's say, and they don't even accidentally kill their grandfather, but they go back in time and personally in a machine or whatever, spacecraft, whatever it is, then, or walk through a portal, some people say that might happen in the future, but so they somehow go back in time, and that moment that they go back in time, they're like reborn again. So let's say they're just there for a few seconds, they look around, seeing the past, and then they're like, all right, let's get out of here, let's just go back to the future, because just feel like it. Just feel like going back to the future again, the same exact time I left at, or whoever it is that's the time traveler. Then they go back to the future, the same exact time that they left the future at, and then they're gonna go back, and they're gonna see their future self. They're gonna see another, like a clone, basically. It's gonna seem like a clone. It's gonna be their same exact copy, and they're gonna go to the future, and they're gonna see themselves, and they can even talk to themselves, but they're never gonna be the same person. They can't just merge with that future self. Now, what if they didn't go back to the future beyond that, or to the same exact time, and they went back to a second or a minute or a day before they even took flight to the past, or went to travel to the past, whatever means that is, or that they do it with. So they travel to the past. They go back to the future, but just before that, they travel to the past. They're gonna see an alternate self there. They still don't merge. I think that's what makes sense in my mind. They don't merge, and so that's the logic. All right, so just contact me, Ronald Mallet, if you get this message. And, just want to talk chit chat about time travel, not just about that theory, but other thoughts and ideas. I'm not a scientist. I consider myself an engineer, more than a scientist. I'm not a physicist or scientist. I'm kind of more like an engineer. I'm into CAD and designing things and stuff like that. I don't do that for a living, but that's my hobby. And then I'm into PC games, and I'm on Twitter at more if you want to see me there. But I probably should just get an email for security purposes, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there's no grandfather paradox, basically, because you get reborn in the past the moment you go to the past. And anytime it's in the past. But if you go to the future, well, I think that that just doesn't apply, basically. I think that you don't have a same self to deal with when you go to the future. You're just simply traveling into the future. And I think that you really are the same person then. That there's not another you. But anyways, alright. So I hope you understand that twisted logic, but it makes sense to me. And it should make sense to anybody who's thinking that you get reborn in the past the moment you go to the past. Because you're creating a new past the moment that you're there. Just being there. Without even doing anything. Just simply being there. You're reborn. And that's it. It's that simple. It's automatic. And anyway, so that's my theory about the grandfather paradox solved. So, Have a good day. My name's Kevin Eidsmore. I think I forgot to introduce myself, but my name's Kevin Eidsmore. EIDSMORE at Eidsmore on Twitter. Okay, so have a good day.